I want to show you something. This is a photograph. Black and white. A little faded now. In this photo, there's a young man, maybe 22, 23 years old. Dark hair. Strong shoulders. Standing in front of an old apartment building. He's smiling. That young man is me. And you know what he's thinking about in that photo? He's thinking, I'm going to work hard. I'm going to save my money. I'm going to do the right things. And everything will work out. He believed that. He really did. Sometimes, late at night when I can't sleep, I think about what I would say to him if I could go back. If I could sit down across from him at his little kitchen table, the one with the wobbly leg, and tell him what I know now. I wouldn't tell him to buy lottery tickets. I wouldn't tell him to gamble. I wouldn't tell him to take crazy risks. I would just tell him 3 things. 3 simple rules. Rules that would have changed everything. I can't go back. My hair's white now. The years are gone. But I can talk to you. Whether you're 20 or 40 or 60, right now, this moment, is the youngest you're ever going to be again. And what you do with that matters more than you think. We've spent the last few videos looking at what's broken. The inflation that steals from you. The banks with empty vaults. The waterfall that flows uphill to the rich. All of that is real. I'm not going to lie to you and say it's fair. It's not. But today I'm going to give you the tools. The 3 rules I wish someone had given me when I was young. The rules that turn a worker into a builder. This one's personal. Because these aren't just rules, they're the lessons written in 40 years of regret. My name is your guide. This is the Wealth Fortress. And this is the episode 1 wish I could have watched when I was 20. Let me tell you about the biggest mistake I ever made with money. For 40 years, I treated myself like I was last in line. Here's how it worked. End of the month comes. Paycheck hits the bank account. And then the parade starts. First comes the landlord. He gets his cut. Then the electric company. Then the gas company. Then the grocery store, the phone bill, the car payment, the insurance. Everyone lines up with their hand out. And I paid them all. Every single one. Because that's what responsible people do, right? And at the end, after everyone else got theirs, I'd look at what was left. Usually it was nothing. Sometimes, maybe, there'd be a few dollars. And I'd think, well, maybe next month I'll save something. Next month never came. For 40 years, I made everyone else rich. My landlord got rich off my rent. The bank got rich off my interest. The stores got rich off my spending. But me? I got older. If I could go back to that young man in the photo, I would grab him by the shoulders and say, stop eating everyone else's leftovers. You eat first. This is what the smart people call, pay yourself first. But forget the fancy term. Here's what it really means. Before you pay anyone else, before the landlord, before the electric company, before you buy a single cup of coffee, you take a piece of your paycheck and you move it somewhere you can't touch it easily. Somewhere it starts working for you. Not at the end of the month. At the beginning. First thing. You set it up so it's automatic. So you don't even see the money. It just disappears into your fortress every time you get paid. Think of it like this. Imagine you're building a wall. A fortress wall. Most people wait until the end of the month to build. They're tired. They're broke. They've got no bricks left. The wall never gets built. But what if you hired a robot? A little invisible robot that works while you sleep. Every time money comes in, the robot grabs 10% of it, doesn't ask permission, doesn't wait, and lays another brick on your wall. You go to work. The wall grows. You sleep. The wall grows. You have a bad month. The wall still grows. After 40 years of that robot working, you'd have a fortress. I didn't have that robot. I waited for the leftover bricks. There were never any leftover bricks. You know what kills me? If I had just taken 1 hour of my paycheck, just 1 hour out of every day I worked, and set it aside from the very beginning, I wouldn't be worrying about money now. I'd be free. 1 hour. Out of 8. That's it. The system is designed to take everything you have. Your rent goes up. Your bills go up. There's always something. If you wait for extra money, you'll wait forever. You have to grab your freedom first. Right at the source. Before anyone else gets a chance. Here's the second thing I got wrong. I thought saving meant hiding. I was a squirrel. You know how squirrels work, right? Fall comes, they run around like crazy, gathering nuts. They find a good tree, dig a hole, stuff the nuts in there. Hide them. Keep them safe for winter. That was me. I get my paycheck, take a little bit, hide it in the bank. My savings account. My safe little tree. I felt good about it. I was being responsible. I was saving for the future. But we've learned something over these past videos, haven't we? The tree is hollow. And those nuts? They're not nuts at all. They're made of ice. And ice melts. Every year, a little more melted. The $100 I saved in 1985 buys about what $30 buys today. The $1,000 I put away for my daughter's college fund? By the time she went to college, it barely covered her textbooks. The squirrel works so hard. Runs back and forth, stuffing that tree. But winter is long. And when spring comes, half the nuts are rotten. That's what happens when you save in cash. In paper money. Inflation is the rot. The Cantillon waterfall is the flood that ruins everything before you even get to use it. If I could go back, I wouldn't be a squirrel anymore. I'd be a farmer. A farmer doesn't hide his seeds. He plants them. He takes the seed, which is valuable on its own, and he puts it in the cold ground. There's risk there. The seed could get eaten, could freeze, could fail. But if it grows, that one seed becomes a tree, and that tree makes 1,000 new seeds. This is the difference between saving and owning. Saving is hiding paper in a tree. Owning is planting seeds that grow into forests. The rich, the ones who win this game, they're not sitting on piles of cash. They don't have vaults full of dollar bills. They have forests. They own pieces of companies, stocks, businesses that make things people need. They own land, real estate, physical dirt that human beings will always need to live on. They own gold, the metal that's been valuable for 5,000 years, that you cannot just print more of when you feel like it. And now, in this century, they own pieces of the stone tablet we talked about. Digital property with a supply that can never be inflated. When the government prints more money, when they flood the world with new dollars, the squirrel cries. His nuts are worth less. He saved so hard and it was all for nothing. But the farmer? The farmer smiles. Because when there's more money chasing the same assets, the price of his trees goes up. The price of his land goes up. The value of his gold goes up. Inflation destroys the saver. Inflation rewards the owner. I spent 40 years being a squirrel. I want you to be a farmer. Don't let your money sit still. Money that sits still dies. Money that moves, money that's planted, money that's working, that money lives. That money grows. And now we come to the lesson that hurts the most. The lesson about time. When I was young, I thought I had forever. I'll start investing next year, I'd say. I need to buy a car first. I need to save up for the wedding. I need to get settled. Next year turned into next decade. And the thing about time is this: you can't see it running out. You can't feel it slipping through your fingers. Not until it's gone. Let me tell you something about the snowball we keep talking about. The snowball needs a long hill to roll down. If you take a snowball the size of a baseball, and you push it down a hill for 40 years, that snowball becomes an avalanche. It becomes something that can crush buildings. Something unstoppable. But if you take a snowball the size of a car and you only have 2 years, it barely grows at all. This is the magic and the cruelty of compound interest. Einstein called it the 8th wonder of the world. He said, those who understand it earn it. Those who don't, pay it. If you start at 20, you don't need to be a genius. You don't need to pick perfect stocks. You don't need to work 100-hour weeks. You can be average. You can be lazy. You can make mistakes. But if you just start, if you just begin putting a little bit away, consistently, early, you win. The math does the work for you. If you start at 50, you need to be a genius. You need to take big risks. You need to work until you drop. Because your hill is short. You're trying to build in 10 years what should have taken 40. I started late. I didn't understand this. And now I look at what I could have built. If I just started when I was 22, standing in front of that apartment with the wobbly kitchen table, and it makes me want to cry. Not for me. I'm old now. My time is what it is. I cry for that young man in the photo. Because he had the one thing I can't buy, no matter how much money I have now. He had time. And he wasted it. If you're young, if you're in your 20s, your 30s, even your 40s, you still have something I don't. You have time. Don't wait until you make more money. Don't wait until you get the promotion. Don't wait until things are perfect. Start with $5. Start with $1. I don't care. Just push the snowball. Get it rolling. Because once it has momentum, once it's been rolling for a few years, nothing can stop it. So why am I telling you all this? I'm an old man. My hill is short now. I can't go back and build my own snowball the way I should have. The years are gone. The compounding I missed? That's gone too. But I can help you build yours. And more than that, I can help you break a cycle. Think about your family for a minute. Your grandparents. Your parents. Maybe your family has always been the ones carrying buckets at the bottom of the waterfall. Maybe money has always been tight. Maybe you've always been the ones who work hard but never seem to get ahead. That's not your fault. That's not laziness. That's just the game we've been playing. But you, right now, today, you have the power to stop that cycle. You can be the one who changes the direction of your entire family line for the next 100 years. You can be the person who learns these 3 rules. Who pays themselves first. Who plants seeds instead of hiding nuts. Who starts the snowball early. And 50 years from now, when your grandchildren are sitting around a table, they won't be stressed about money. They won't be carrying buckets. Because you planted a tree. And that tree is still giving them shade. That's legacy. That's what this is really about. Not getting rich. Not buying fancy things. It's about being the person in your family who said, "This stops with me. The struggle stops with me. I'm going to learn what they never taught us, and I'm going to pass it forward." Before we finish, I want to tell you about something nobody talks about. The quiet moments. You know what I mean. It's 3 in the morning. You can't sleep. The house is dark. Everyone else is asleep. And you're lying there, staring at the ceiling, doing math in your head. How many years until retirement? How much do I need? What if I get sick? What if the car breaks down? What if? Those moments are heavy. I know. I've lived them. For decades. And the worst part is you can't talk about it. Not really. You put on a smile during the day. You go to work. You tell people you're fine. But at night, alone, the worry comes back. This is what happens when you're carrying a leaking bucket for 40 years. The weight gets heavier. The nights get longer. I don't want that for you. I don't want you lying there at 65, 70, 75, wondering if you'll have enough. Wondering if you did enough. Wondering why you didn't start sooner. The 3 rules I gave you today: pay yourself first, plant seeds instead of hiding nuts, start now while the hill is long. These aren't just financial advice. These are how you sleep at night. These are how you wake up in the morning and not feel that knot in your stomach. These are how you watch your kids grow up without that constant background hum of worry. Financial security isn't about being rich. It's about being free from that 3 a.m. math. It's about knowing that you built something solid, that you don't have to be afraid. And the beautiful thing? You don't need to be perfect to get there. You don't need to make a fortune. You just need to start. And be consistent. And trust the process. The snowball grows. The wall gets built. 1 brick at a time. And one day, years from now, you'll wake up at 3 in the morning, but not because you're worried. You'll wake up because you're old and you have to use the bathroom. And when you're lying there, waiting to fall back asleep, instead of doing that anxious math, you'll just smile. Because you know you're okay. You built your fortress. You took care of yourself. That peace? That's what we're really building here. Not wealth. No one is coming to save you, not the banks and not the government. There is only one person who decides whether your family keeps carrying buckets or starts building fortresses. The person in the mirror. You don't need to be rich or a genius. You just need to start now. Pay yourself first, stop hiding nuts, and start planting seeds. Don't look at an old photograph 40 years from now, wishing you had started when the hill was long. If you care about someone younger, share this video with them right now. One conversation today could change their entire life trajectory. In our next video, we get tactical. I'll show you exactly where to put that first brick and how to choose your first assets. Hit subscribe. Let's stop using a leaking bucket and build a fortress that lasts.